Welcome back to the Humble Healer podcast, and thanks for tuning in. And today we'll talk about sleep. Sleep is a very important part of our health. Probably does account for a third of our lives. Today we'll talk about general principle part one. So in this modern world where there a glow of screens often replaces the moon's soothing light, and millions of people find themselves locked in a nightly struggle, but not with how to manage their thoughts within their own minds to help them fall asleep. And this affects millions of Americans. Up to 25 million people have serious problems with sleep in the US alone. Sleep in the old days held a place of natural simplicity in human experience, like breathing, eating, and drinking. And it was a rhythm that was in our everyday life, celebrated, unforced, and guided by the cycles of the sun and the moon rather than the constraints of the schedules and societal expectations and pressure. This relationship was disrupted by the arrival of artificial lighting, the Industrial Revolution, and the relentless march of capitalism, transforming the sleep from a shared instinctive practice into a solitary and often burdensome task that takes up time that we do not want to spend. So this transformation of sleep into a contentious issue is deeply entwined with the rise of the industrialization and the globalized economy, which prioritize productivities over a natural biological rhythms. And this also not only alter the way that humans interact with the concept of sleep, but also introduce a moral and political dimension to it. The notion that sleep hygiene with sleep as a sense of morality and shaping perception that need to be controlled and managed. So in the face of these changes, the modern conversation around sleep is presented with an overwhelming array products and technology designed to improve sleep, from advanced mattresses to sleep tracking apps and sleep aids and so on, and turning sleep into billion-dollar industry. And this focus on all the technological solution and the pathologization, turning sleep into pathology or disease, overlook the essential nature of sleep as an instinctive and pleasurable part of human life. So sleeplessness isn't only about the external factor like light, exposure, or stress. It's also about the way we view and interact with sleep. And with the proliferation of sleep aids and technology, it may be distancing us further from our innate ability to sleep well. So an important way to approach insomnia or sleep, more importantly sleep, is to learn to reconnect with this instinctive pleasure and simplicity of sleep that require not just technological fix, but a shift in our attitude to rest, wellness, and the rhythm of life itself. In other words, if we want to sleep better, we need to view this activity through a new lens. Remember the rest and digest system that I talk extensively, and how keeping that system activated um, allow for improved longevity, health, happiness, and resilience. And the rest part covers also sleep. We should focus not only on being able to sleep, but on our whole approach in our health and wellness. And sleep will be part of that solution, not just one aspect of it. And that will be a better way to address our insomnia. I remember when about 14 years ago, 12 years ago or so, there was a colleague who is a family doctor like me, and he said that he went to New Zealand for about a few years prior to coming back to Massachusetts. And he said that took the family with him. They went to bed when the sun goes down. They wake up when the sun goes up, using the natural sunlight as a way to help guide them with their circadian rhythm. And no TV, no technology. He said that that was the best time of his life, and no issue with sleep as well as issue with stress. So it's something to think about when we consider sleep as part of our whole natural process, instead of trying to intervene with all these technological aids and sleep and medication and so on. So to approach sleep problem, we would be aware that this is not a one-size-fits-all approach, because sleep is a far more complex dynamic than just a period of rest. Unlike any skills that we acquire to practice, sleep emerges naturally. as an involuntary state that cannot be summoned at will. It is a process during which the body and the brain engage in essential activities like detoxification, hormone release, tissue repair, information, organization, and emotional regulation. These processes underscore sleep role not as a tool for enhancement, but as an outcome of the body internal maintenance. Very important processes that allow us to recharge and allow us to maintain our daily activities and function and happiness and good health. This intricate connection of physiological and cognitive functions unfolds across various sleep stages, each contributing to our overall well being. Contrary to the notion of light or deep sleep, as some having more importance than others, all stages, including wakefulness, are important to a balanced sleep experience. Similar to a diverse component of a nutritious meal, healthy sleep then is not about adhering to a rigid standard such as the often cited 8-hour rule. Rather, it is when the brain and body effectively perform their nocturnal duties to meet our needs, leading to a sense of well-being upon waking. The variability in sleep requirements reflect not only personal differences, but also the adaptability of sleep across life stages and circumstances. This flexibility is a testament to sleep evolutionary design created to ensure the survival and thriving of our species through a diversity of sleeping pattern among individuals. The bottom line is that different people require different amount of sleep, and some people may just need 6 hours, other people may need up to 9, even though the most frequently cited is 7 to 8 in a lot of journal. The key is that if your body only needs 6 in order to wake up and refresh and meet all the requirement in terms of being able to recharge and all the processes that we mentioned above, then that's all you need. So the key is to be able to tell by how you feel in the morning, whether you feel refreshed, you don't feel tired, you don't feel irritable, and so on. This adaptive nature of sleep goes back to our ancestors whose survival depended on very sleep-wake pattern within a group, protecting against threats and optimizing resources. Evolution has endowed us with this sleep system that is resilient and capable of adjusting to meet the demands of both the environment and our internal states. Understanding sleep in this light as a natural, enjoyable process that varies widely among individuals and over time offers a more compassionate and flexible approach to addressing sleep issues or concerns. It shifts the focus from striving for an idealized sleep pattern to recognize and respecting the body's innate wisdom in maintaining its restorative cycles. So insomnia is not only about what happens at night, it's a condition that ranges from struggle, falling, or staying asleep occasionally, situations that are commonplace and generally harmless, related to our life routine, stresses, and excitements. However, when these sleep disturbances become a persistent companion, they become a pattern that significantly disrupt daily life, crossing into the territory of chronic insomnia. This condition is not defined by just a period of sleepless night, but by a constellation of symptoms that persist over months, impacting mood, energy, and overall well-being without a direct link to an obvious external triggers or other underlying disorders. Contrary to common belief, insomnia is not about failing to meet a prescribed amount of sleep. The diagnostic criteria avoid specifying exact threshold for sleep duration, onset, or interruption, but acknowledging the subjective experience of the disorder. What constitutes insomnia for one person may be perfectly acceptable sleep for another. This highlights the personal nature of sleep disturbances, underscoring that the essence of insomnia is not solely rooted in the hours of the night, but extends its influence into daylight hours. Insomnia's adverse effect is not confined to darkness. It is a condition that occupies the mind and affects emotion throughout the entire day. It manifests as a persistent worry about sleep, altering evening routine and casting a shadow over the anticipation of the night. The daytime repercussions of insomnia include fatigue, cognitive fog, irritability, and pervasive sense of unfulfilled potential, underscore this role as a 24-hour disorder. Addressing insomnia then requires a focus on daytime actions as well and attitudes as much as, if not more than nighttime habits. This offers a place of control back into the hands of the individual, empowering them to make conscious changes during their waking hours to foster better sleep. Understanding insomnia in this comprehensive manner shifts your focus from a battle against nighttime disturbance into a holistic approach that encompasses both night and days. It's a strategy that emphasizes adaptability, self-awareness, and personalized understanding of sleep, offering hope and a pathway toward reclaiming the restorative power of rest. So the same idea is that you focus not only on fixing your sleep, but you also should focus on changing your daily routines, diet, nutrition, exercise, activities, everything that can help with your physical health, mental health will help sleep also. Same idea. Keep yourself in that rest and digest mode, and being active, which is part of that anyhow, is a good way to start. Changing daily routine to improve your night. It's crucial to understand the delicate balance between sleep, drive, and arousal alert element that determine the ease with which one transitions into sleep. Sleep drive, similar to hunger, accumulates over the day, building the foundation for a restful night. This hunger for sleep grows with each waking moment, and physical activity, filling a sleep piggy bank that come bedtime, we hope, contains enough to allow us to buy quality sleep. Achieving this balance is often ruined by common factors that deplete our sleep savings in the piggy bank. One such factor is a well-intentioned but misguided attempt to compensate for poor sleep by going to bed too early. This stems from this misinterpretation of fatigue as sleepiness. While fatigue signals a need for rest or change, true sleepiness is marked by an irresistible pull towards sleep. Misjudging this balance can lead to a night filled with frustration rather than rest, highlighting the importance of distinguishing between being tired and being genuinely ready to sleep. You probably have had all those moments when you know when sleep's hitting you, that you're just doing something, you're just passing out. So you have to be able to tell the difference between just feeling a little tired and when sleep knocked on the door. On the other hand, lingering in bed in the morning in hopes of capturing a few more moments of rest can inadvertently diminish one's sleep drive for the following night. This habit, intended to squeeze out a bit more sleep, instead borrows against the next day's sleep potential, establishing a cycle of perpetually low sleep drive. Another way is that napping during the day can also deplete your saving from your sleep piggy bank. So watch out. And if you do naps, perhaps consider just power nap for 5 minutes or so that you can function, for example, like driving without um, um, get into accidents and being able to function throughout the day, but no more than that. There's the feast or famine approach to sleep, and alternating between short and excessively long night further disrupt the balance. This cycle, characterized by the attempt to make up for lost sleep, often lead to inconsistent sleep pattern that undermine the natural accumulation of the sleep drive. Lastly, sedentary lifestyle during the day can significantly impair our ability to build a sufficient sleep drive. Incorporating even a modest physical activity such as regular walks can markedly enhance the sleep drive, helping us to break the cycle of insomnia and fostering a more stable sleep pattern or sleep cycle. Through mindful adjustment to our daily routines and attitude towards sleep, we can enhance our sleep quality, leading to improved overall well-being. Applying the acceptance and commitment therapy to improve sleep performance. So in the quest for this peaceful night's sleep, the struggle with insomnia often feel like being trapped in quicksand. The more you fight to escape, the deeper you sink. Drawing on the principle of acceptance and commitment therapy, a psychological approach that emphasizes psychological flexibility, we find valuable strategy that for navigating these challenges of sleeplessness. The core idea is to shift from a mindset of struggle to one of acceptance, paralleling the counterintuitive but effective response to quicksand to stop moving and lay flat. Lay flat, acknowledge, accept, and practice mindfulness without any judgment. Accepting reality is the first step in this journey. Just as acknowledging the presence of quicksand doesn't magically transform it into solid ground, recognizing wakefulness in the night doesn't immediately lead to sleep. However, this acceptance allows for cessation of the mental and physical struggle that exacerbate insomnia. By simply acknowledging the current state without judgment or resistance, one can create a space for more serene approach to sleep. It's about embracing the moment as it is without futile attempts to alter the immediate reality of wakefulness. You can see that the night is long and it feels pretty eternal when you're tossing and turning and try to fight, but to force yourself asleep. Just accept, acknowledge, just take a deep breath. Sometimes when I wake up in the middle of the night, I focus on the ceiling's fan and just keep looking at that. And soon after, my eye got tired, and I just closed my eye, I fell back asleep. And it's okay. Don't try to fight to close your eyes. Open, focus in one thing. Focus on the ceiling fan or whatever that very monotonous, and eventually you will fall back asleep. That's the wonderful thing about this acceptance and acknowledgement, commitment to the presence without any judgment. The second strategy involves pivot from mental rumination to bodily awareness. The mind, with its capacity for complex thought and future planning, can become a source of stress when it spirals into hypothetical worries or futile attempts to replicate past conditions for perfect sleep. This overactivity can amplify anxiety and hinder the natural progression towards sleep. In contrast, the body operates in the present, providing direct feedback that's untainted by overthinking or emotional distress. By tuning into the body signal, you can ground yourself in the present moment, reducing the intensity of the discomfort or anxiety. For those that have physical pain or chronic condition, this doesn't mean that we ignore the reality of those symptoms, but suggests a way to coexist with these experiences through acceptance. Engaging directly with bodily sensation rather than attempting to mentally escape them can lead to reduction in perceived pain and anxiety. Still find a way to intrude into your ability to fall asleep to the point that if you cannot overcome, then perhaps get some help to address these physical conditions if possible with healthcare professionals. It's a journey toward making peace with the present state, whether it's characterized by discomfort or pain or wakefulness. By adopting these strategies, accepting reality as it is, and shifting focus from the mind to the body, individuals struggling with insomnia can navigate their condition with greater ease and potentially find more peaceful night. It's a gentle reminder that sometimes the best action is non-action, and the path to better sleep might be found in embracing the moment, however restless it may seem. That's essentially the mindful approach to sleeplessness and not fighting it, acknowledging the present and without any judgment. I hope you find this principle helpful, and I apologize for a lot of complex words, and I hope you find the time to perhaps listen to that one more time. But the idea is that I want you to approach sleep in a holistic way by managing your wellness, diet, activities, and also be mindful of building up that sleep piggy bank in order to reap that harvest and saving to have a wonderful, restful sleep at nighttime. So let me know if you have any feedback and comment. If you have any issue, how you deal with your insomnia. Thank you so much, and please share uh, with friends, family, patients, and we'll talk more about sleep in the future, including more specifically sleep hygiene, and also on how the geriatric population tend to be more affected by sleep and what we can do about it, and how to find undiagnosed underlying causes for their wakefulness or midnight awakenings for the elderly populations. Thank you and take care.